Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into the Quran today, specifically Surah Al-Mumtahanah, the woman tested. And you sent us these fascinating excerpts, and it seems like you're really interested in how this surah tackles faith and relationships, even social dynamics within the Muslim community. So
it's a rich text full of these nuanced perspectives on navigating a world where spiritual allegiances and personal relationships kind of intersect.
Yeah. Okay, let's just dive right in, right away, right from the start. This surah doesn't shy away from some really tough questions.
Right.
It puts down this really powerful principle, this idea of loyalty to Allah above all else, even family.
Yeah.
And this isn't just some abstract thing. It gets very real very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the surah uses a story of Abraham to kind of drive this point home.
Right.
He's central figure in Islamic tradition. And it reminds us that Abraham denounced his own people, even his father.
Yeah.
For idolatry.
Well.
Imagine the emotional weight of that decision.
Yeah.
Breaking with your family.
Yeah.
Your tribe. For your beliefs.
It's heavy stuff. I mean, it really makes you think about the courage that it would take to stand by your convictions when they clash with the people that you love.
Right. Yeah. It's how do we reconcile then?
Yeah.
Our spiritual loyalties with our family bonds in the modern world?
Exactly.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. It's a question for the ages. So loyalty is a huge theme here, but it doesn't stop there.
Right.
The surah also digs into how Muslims should approach those who don't share their faith.
Yeah.
And it's not just this black and white, good, bad kind of picture.
Totally. And the text, makes a distinction, a very clear distinction between those who are hostile towards Islam versus those who are not.
Okay.
And, it encourages kindness and fairness towards peaceful non-believers.
Yeah.
In fact, it, emphasizes this importance of justice, even when you're dealing with people outside of the faith.
Okay. So it's a very nuanced approach.
Right.
It's recognizing that, okay, there's a possibility for peaceful coexistence, but also acknowledging that, conflict is real.
Yeah.
It kind of paints this picture of a community that's striving to live their values, even when faced with opposition.
Exactly. Yeah. And this approach is rooted in, something deeper, right?
Okay.
This principle of recognizing Allah's ultimate sovereignty over everything. Over all of creation.
I see.
So, that kind of awareness helps cultivate a sense of perspective.
Yeah.
Reminding believers that their duty is to uphold the truth and justice, regardless of the response that they receive.
Speaking of specific guidance, the surah then shifts its focus to kind of a particularly vulnerable group, women who are emigrating to join the Muslim community.
Yeah.
There's some very specific instructions, protections that are outlined for them.
This is really important. I think this highlights a concern, a profound concern, actually, for the well-being and safety of these people, these individuals, particularly women, who are seeking refuge within the Muslim community. And it goes beyond just welcoming them in, right?
Right.
It outlines this whole process of verifying their conversion and making sure it's sincere.
Okay.
Making sure that it's not driven by coercion or ulterior motives.
So it's not just about a blanket offering of protection. It's about putting a system in place.
Yes.
That ensures a genuine commitment.
Yeah.
And prevents exploitation.
Absolutely.
It almost sounds like an early form of asylum seeking.
Right. It's an interesting parallel that speaks to the surah's commitment to,
and compassionate.
Social
order. Exactly. And remember, these verses were revealed during a time of massive, massive social upheaval.
Yeah.
So offering some clear guidelines for integrating newcomers was really crucial. Right. And it wasn't just about offering a safe haven.
Right.
It also dealt with the practical stuff from their previous lives. Specifically, it addressed the financial aspects of their former marriages.
Yes.
It's they were trying to create this framework that ensured a fair and smooth transition into this new community.
Exactly. A holistic approach to integrating new members, recognizing that, spiritual belonging also necessitates social and economic security.
Totally.
So, very interesting. This attention to detail It underscores the surah's commitment to building a community that cares for the vulnerable.
Okay. So we've seen how the surah addresses loyalty to Allah. We've seen how it addresses the complexities of interacting with non-believers, even this sensitive topic of women seeking refuge within the Muslim community. But there's more, right?
There's more.
The surah also, it delves into the formal process of women pledging allegiance to the Prophet Muhammad himself.
Yes. This act of pledging allegiance wasn't like just symbolic. It was a public declaration, a commitment to this, nascent Muslim community.
Yeah.
Its leader. And the conditions for pledging were very specific.
Okay.
Right. And they reflect the core values and the behavioral expectations for anyone joining this community.
So it's like signing a social contract.
Yeah. Like signing a social contract.
No idolatry, theft, adultery, infanticide, disobedience in righteous matters. It's pretty serious stuff.
It's true. These weren't just like random rules.
Right.
They were laying the groundwork for a just moral society.
Right.
It was about establishing a community where people were held accountable for their actions. And ethical conduct was paramount.
Yeah.
So
huge.
Big stuff.
Yeah, it's fascinating how the surah kind of lays out not just the spiritual foundations, but also the ethical and social framework for an entire society.
It really speaks to this understanding of faith, where belief isn't just, rituals and personal piety. It extends outwards. It shapes how we interact with the community, with the world. It's bigger than just us.
Totally. And this idea of personal accountability, it comes up again and again in the surah. There's this one phrase that really jumped out at me.
Oh, yeah.
Mobilizing to strive for my cause, seeking my approval.
Oh.
It's like a reminder that our actions should be aligned with our faith.
Right.
With the higher purpose.
I love that observation. It highlights the intentionality in every action. That, even mundane tasks can be elevated when they're done with sincerity and with a desire to please Allah.
It's about bringing that spiritual awareness into literally everything you do.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a call to infuse our daily routines, right? With purpose, recognizing that we're accountable for our choices, for our actions, both in this life and the next one.
So we've talked a lot about the surah's guidelines for interacting with non-believers.
Yeah.
But it also has some really valuable stuff to say about relationships within the Muslim community.
Right.
We've touched upon women pledging allegiance to the Prophet.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to go a little bit deeper into what that really means.
It's huge. It signifies this formal commitment to the Muslim community and its leadership. And it's interesting to note that the conditions, they go beyond just simple obedience.
Right.
It emphasizes ethical conduct.
Okay.
Spiritual purity.
Right. There's a strong emphasis on personal integrity, morality, right? No stealing, adultery, harming children.
Right.
It's about, creating a just and compassionate society, from within.
And these conditions, they really reflect the Quran's overarching emphasis on building a society that's rooted in justice, compassion, accountability.
Interesting. It's about creating a community where individuals, they strive for righteousness, not just in their own personal lives, but contributing to the well-being of everyone.
Yes, exactly.
But this emphasis on righteousness, it's not blind obedience.
Right.
The surah also encourages critical thinking.
Yes.
It encourages a deep understanding of the why behind all this. There's this beautiful verse, Allah is knowing and wise.
Right.
It's like an invitation to think about the wisdom behind the commandments, not to just blindly follow them.
Yeah, I think that's so crucial. The Quran wants us to engage with it.
Right.
To really ponder its meanings, to seek a deeper understanding.
Yeah.
It's about having faith that's rooted in your intellect.
Totally. It's not about just memorizing rules. It's about internalizing the values.
Yes.
Striving to live by them.
Yeah.
It's a much different thing.
Absolutely. It's about nurturing a mindful faith, an informed faith, where believers, they understand the logic behind the teachings, and they actively apply them in their lives.
Yeah. It's a constant process.
Yes, it's a journey.
It's a journey. It's not a destination. You know, as we're going through the surah, it really strikes me how relevant this all is.
Yeah.
Like today.
It's timeless.
It's totally timeless. These challenges of navigating relationships, staying true to your beliefs.
Yes.
Building a just society. These are like human questions that never go away.
That's the beauty of these texts, like the Quran. They offer this wisdom and guidance that goes beyond, any specific time or place.
It's about the human experience.
Exactly. The principles in this surah, they speak to this human quest.
Yeah.
For meaning, purpose, belonging.
Yeah, totally. And Surah Al-Mumtahanah, it gives us this framework for dealing with the tough stuff.
Right.
The complexities of faith, social responsibility. It's like a treasure trove of insights into human nature, social dynamics, the importance of living a life with like conviction, but also with compassion.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's really amazing how this surah like brings together all these different things. Personal faith, social responsibility, even like, how to actually build a just and compassionate society.
Right. Like it all comes together. It really speaks to, I think, like a holistic understanding of Islam.
Yeah.
Where belief isn't just, rituals or personal piety.
Right.
It extends outward. It shapes our interactions, our responsibilities within the community, within the world.
And this brings us to a verse that really stood out to me.
Okay.
And it seems to like connect back to this idea of loyalty.
Yeah.
And who you associate with.
Interesting. Okay. Are you talking about the verse that cautions against like befriending those who have what's the phrase? Despaired of the hereafter?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
It's like it's powerful, and it seems to suggest that like what we believe, our like whole outlook on life can be affected by like who we hang out with.
Right.
So it's like a call to think about the people we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
To look for companions who will like strengthen our faith.
Right.
Not tear it down with negativity and doubt.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. It speaks to like the power of influence.
Right.
Like our environment can shape our perspectives, our values, even our understanding of God. It's crucial to find people who inspire you.
Yeah.
To do good, to hold on to hope. That's how you grow.
It's like a warning against letting like cynicism and despair kind of like poison your heart and mind.
Exactly.
And it's not about just like avoiding arguments about religion.
Right.
It's deeper than that. It's about creating a space where faith can actually like thrive.
And this ties back to the surah's emphasis on like hope.
All right.
Optimism. Even when things are rough. Despair, it's contagious.
Totally.
And the surah, I think, cautions us against letting it take root.
Yeah.
Like letting it erode our belief in God.
Yeah.
In God's justice, in God's mercy.
It's a reminder that faith isn't passive.
Yes.
It's about actively choosing hope. It's about surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to do good and to never lose sight of the big picture.
Beautiful.
Even when things are tough. So looking back at everything we've talked about today, it's so clear that the Quran isn't just, some book of abstract ideas about God.
Right.
It gives us actual guidance for living, for dealing with relationships, for building a just society.
Absolutely. And Surah Al-Mumtahanah, the woman tested, is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
It grapples with these big themes: loyalty, compassion, justice, social responsibility.
It's about living a life guided by faith and by doing the right thing, ethical conduct. And it's so interesting to me that these ideas, they were revealed centuries ago.
Right.
But they still feel so relevant.
They do. They really do. It's amazing.
This struggle to stay true to your beliefs, navigating relationships with people of different faiths, trying to build a better world, a more just world, a more compassionate world.
It's timeless. It's part of the human experience.
It is. It's a testament to the wisdom of the Quran and its ability to speak to us, like no matter what time period we're in, no matter what culture.
Across cultures, across time. Absolutely.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you, our listener, with a question.
Okay.
How do these teachings, these principles, how do they resonate with you? How can you apply them in your own life? in your relationships, in your community,
Yeah.
and in your own personal journey of faith. It's something to think about. And we hope it's something that stays with you.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here. There's always more to discover, more to learn.
Right.
Keep asking questions. Keep searching.
Keep diving deeper.
Keep diving deeper. Exactly.
I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you a new way to look at the Quran. Until next time, keep exploring.